Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto ruled the castle of eternal desire, chosen by Kushina to breed a forbidden harem. Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. In the hospital 21 years ago, a pair along with their child are there talking with a doctor as he goes through the charts and paperwork. The woman says, "Well, Lady Uzumaki, I have some bad news," as she is holding her child. The woman has a tight feeling as the doctor says, "You have gotten a rare disease that makes you unable to have any more children. And treatment won't do much for you." The woman is horrified and her husband showing no better as this is just soul-crushing. The woman begins to tear up, and the doctor says, "I am sorry, Lady Uzumaki," as the man, Kushina. He holds on to her as he says, "Are you sure there's anything that can be done? Sir, I know this is hard and given your wife's family being one its last members, I'm afraid there's not much, not even a little." Lady Uzumaki begins to cry as if it was too much. Soon after, they went home, and they didn't speak to each other for the next couple of days until things went back to normal. For a while at least, that is, until one day. Lady Uzumaki or Kushina found out her husband was cheating on her with a younger woman on their bed. Seeing such an act was unforgiven and Kushina tried to understand why, but Minato just angry yells at her. As Kushina realized the news of her not being able to have any more child had very much changed the man she once knew, Kushina was so pissed and then yells, "Get thee out, you cheating bastard, we are done." 2 days later Kushina had thrust the filled-out divorce papers into his hand. He happily filled out his part, and then he had to pay her compensation as well as child support. But that doesn't last, cause a couple of months later, Minato and his lover Sakura were found dead as they crossed one person they should not have, and so they had paid the price. When the news reached Kushina, she did not shed a tear at all because her mind was on the company that she had started. And it was going well, very well. If Kushina plays her cards right, shortly, she won't worry about anything for herself and, of course, her only son, who is the only treasure of her life. Time skip 21 years later. On the beach of the Land of Fire, there's land that is owned by the Uzumaki clan. On that land is a massive Japanese castle that is near the beach as they would not build a house on the beach. Though Kushina doesn't live in this castle, she stays in the city of Konoha. No, this belongs to her son and his ladies. Hell, the damn castle is protected from tsunamis and storms. Kushina pays top money to make sure the castle can survive any and all natural disasters. In the master bedroom, there are 19 beds in this room. Those beds belong to the favorites, and the final bed is the master bed with the first wife and the lord of the place Naruto Uzumaki and his wife Paran Uzumaki wake up as she sees her beloved husband and moves to him and kiss him on the cheek. "Paran, you horny minx of mine. Are you trying to make me you again?" asked Naruto Uzumaki, who pulls Paran's body against his. She giggles as she says, "No, it's just a morning kiss, and besides, my paw is still sore from the pounding you give last night." Naruto chuckles, "Oh, did I tire out my sexy horny minx?" Naruto then kisses her on the lips and she kisses back as she answers after the kiss, "Yes you did, I won't have any until the following day." Naruto chuckles and says, "Understood, my darling. Let us get up." Paran nods as they get off of the bed. They get dressed and Naruto at times gropes Paran, making her moan for Paran. She wears the outfit that she loves. She has many of them. Paran wears a cream-colored hanfu that's usually accompanied by a pink and faux furred shawl. As for accessories, Paran opts to wear blue dangle earrings and a blue flower on the right side of her head. Her outfit also shows off a good amount of cleavage, all for her loving husband. She also puts on a collar that has a platinum tag on it. Right now, heading over to the kitchen, Naruto sees his other wives as 15 of them are all wearing elegant kimonos while 2 Meimei and Joka are wearing something else. Meimei is a beautiful young woman standing at average height and possesses a well-endowed figure. She has fair skin, and dark purple-colored hair that falls to mid-back length and is otherwise styled into a side ponytail, leaving a section of her hair to frame one side of her face, whereas the rest of her fringe frames the left side of her face, soft sea green eyes, and a beauty mark beneath her right eye. For her outfit, she wears a seafoam green, long-sleeved top along with a long royal blue skirt and is usually seen with a coral-colored shawl. For accessories, she wears a gold necklace, pink-colored flower earrings, and a magenta-colored flower pin on the left side of her head. She is also wearing a collar with a gold tag. Joka is a beautiful young woman with a well-endowed figure. She stands at average height, possesses fair skin, calf-length colored hair that's styled both elaborately and is otherwise sectioned, sharp amber-colored eyes, and is typically seen with a flat expression on her face. Joka's outfit consists of a maroon-colored hanfu with blue accents. For her choice of accessorizing, she wears a silver tiara on her head and red-colored earrings. She is also seen with two small lilac-colored dots for makeup above her thin eyebrows. She is also wearing a collar with a gold tag. Naruto says, "Morning ladies," they all say, "Good morning beloved," they all also have collars with gold tags. These are his favorites, but Perrin is the first wife, so she is the only one wearing a collar with platinum tag. Naruto says, "So what are we having?" He goes over to the table. Kiryu says, "We are having pancakes with bacon." Naruto asks, "Together or separate?" Kiryu looks at Naruto. "Darling, really?" Naruto laughs lightly. Then Naruto sits down next to Lihua. Lihua has flowing dark blue hair with bangs swept to the left side and ruby red eyes. With her voluptuous body, Lihua's elemental motif among the high consorts is water, and thus, she is generally seen in blue and purple attire as she grew up near the sea. Like the others, she has a collar with a golden tag. As Kiryu shakes her head as she serves Naruto the pancakes, Naruto kisses Kiryu's cheek and says, "Thank you." Kiryu giggles. Before they carry on with their breakfast, they all hear loud banging, barking, and other things coming from outside, more so the backyard. There is one who looks at all going down while holding a cup of coffee. "There goes another idiot thinking that he could get in," said Boa Hancock. "Another one?" Naruto asks. They all nod. "That is the fifth one in 5 minutes, then there's another one, add another one," said Boa as Naruto says, "One would think they would have gotten the hint by now. Men are not allowed here. I remember a place called the Imperial Harem back in the day." Everyone nods. Naruto finishes breakfast and says, "I think I will walk the garden," and Lihua then says, "I will join you, darling." Naruto smiles. After they head out. As they walk they see two ladies and Naruto licks his lips as they are the twins Itomi and Izumi. They are working in the garden and Lihua whispers, "You have been watching them for a while, darling." Naruto says, "Oh, I know, but I want to go the garden and relax for a bit," but he sees them wearing tiny clothes that reveal so much, their triple K cup and their skirts showing nothing under them. "They do not make it easy for you, huh, darling," says Lihua. Naruto chuckles and kisses her, then whispers, "After this we will have the wives gather up as I want them." Lihua nods and whispers, "Understood, darling." Naruto is about to go but he soon hears, "Oh no. I wet my shirt." Naruto and Lihua turn to see Izumi has a wet shirt. Naruto licks his lips and Lihua giggles, and then they keep walking the garden. Later into the day, Naruto is looking over the council meeting. "Darling wants to add 2 more wives to our ranks," said Lihua. As others said, "Who are they?" asked Unohana, and Lihua said, "Itomi and Izumi Uchiha." They all think about it, then they all list what they both have done to earn it. Naruto smirks as he is happy to hear the good news, then they all voice it. Perrin says, "I say yes." Morelia says, "Yes." And it goes down the line and the answers are all yes. Afterward, Itomi and Izumi enter the council room. They are nervous as they believe that they're in some kind of trouble. Perrin smiles, "Oh, are you both nervous? Well, this is good news if you two must know, so you can relax." The twins do so, with one of them asking, "So, why are we here?" Perrin says, "Strip." Both blush as Itomi says, "Why?" The council women smile in a kind way, you will see. So, strip even the collars, said Unohana with a kind smile. Both do so, Perrin says, look to your left. They do and see two elegant kimonos with two new collars with gold tags and they gasp, welcome to our ranks girls. When you are done here you are to go to the master bedroom where your little brother is waiting for his sexy big sisters. They shiver then realize they're blushing badly. They get dressed and get the collar on. Then they are led to the master bedroom. As the twins left, Unohana says, oh Naruto is going to have a time with them. The other nod. I swear that man is trying to breed us all, said Morelia and Perrin smiles while unconsciously rubbing her belly as everyone asks, are you pregnant Perrin? And Perrin says, maybe, as she teases them. They smile. With Itomi and Izumi, they knock on the master bedroom door, enter. The twins accomplish their walk into the room where they see a Naruto sitting on his bed looking at them. Come here big sisters, let your little brother pleasure you. They walk over to him and the first one to hug him is Izumi. Naruto then kisses her, and she moans while Itomi says, how about you let your big sis deal with this hard on you have Naruto-kun. Naruto lets them go ahead. Itomi starts to Naruto's as Naruto is playing with Izumi's drinking her milk while Itomi is Naruto's. Izumi is moaning as Itomi is deep-throating Naruto's. Itomi thinks, Naruto-kun is so good. I know he gives out tasks to girls as well but to be moved to gold rank is awesome, as she keeps it up. Izumi says, why yes and no K keep why your B big S sisters. Naruto keeps it. Naruto thinks as he keeps it, I can't wait to them both. An hour later, Naruto is Itomi's, and his has just entered her womb. Itomi screams as she shouts, oh little brother you are in my womb, her eyes rolling upward as she loses her mind by the sec. Naruto keeps her and Naruto says, that's it my big sis keep taking my and get pregnant. He thrusts even harder. Itomi just screams. While her sister is watching them go at it, Izumi is fingering her as she wants her to turn so much but has to wait. Izumi is panting as she says, P please L little B bro y your O other B big S sis W wants H her T turn. Naruto lifts Itomi upward as he is holding her as he her more, as he says, I will get there, I promise. As he is close to coming, Itomi shouts, oh this feels so good. Yes, get me pregnant. As there's so much cum. As he is flooding her womb. A bit later, Naruto is Izumi while on her is Izumi moaning, screaming as she losing her mind. Naruto is enjoying her so much with Izumi moaning out, yes Naruto-kun, my destroy it. Izumi screams louder while Naruto pulls her with his mouth. Izumi screams as she loves Naruto playing with her. Couple hours later, Naruto walks out of the bedroom, leaving Itomi and Izumi in the room passed out as he smirks as he is going to get something to eat. Then he sees Perrin walking to the front door as she says, oh you're done. Naruto kisses her cheek. Yup, so new girls. Perrin nods as she says, they should be arriving by sundown. Then let's get the gold tags and head to the beach, said Naruto. Then there hear guns fired, over 100 times. Naruto shrugs, it must be those drones again. It was the truth. Time skip. Naruto and Perrin are watching as the front gate open and there is a line of buses. Naruto says, quite a lot this time. Perrin nods indeed but they will soon be placed, my love. Let's meet them. At the front of the castle, the ladies are getting off the buses. They are named Matsumoto Rangaku, Bleach, Fantina, Pokemon, Cynthia, Pokemon, Helen Parr, The Incredibles, Vivi, One Piece, Nemu, Bleach. Momo Yaoyorozu, My Hero Academia, Juvia, Fairy Tail, Urza, FT, Lucy, FT, Layla Heartfilia, FT, Iroha, Samurai Showdown, Reiju, OP, Orihime, Bleach, Jessica Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Nessa, Pokemon, Elisa, Pokemon, Skyla, Pokemon, Whitney, Pokemon, Jenny Renlight, FT, Rias Grimori, DXD, Akano Himehima, DXD, Mabui, Naruto, Karui, Naruto, Viola, OP, Tamari, Naruto, Shizune, Naruto, Hiyori, OP, Chichi, DBZ, Bulma, DBZ, Lazuli, aka Android 18 DBZ. And there you go you pain in MY. Geez, I don't, it is I do many girls. Naruto says, wow, that's a lot this time around. Perrin giggles, and then the buses leave, and she walks up to the group. Greetings, ladies, welcome to the Uzumaki Castle. I am Perrin Uzumaki, the wife of Naruto Uzumaki. Everyone says their hellos as well. Now I am going to tell you the groups you will be in and some rules after, okay? The ladies nod. Now when I call your name and color, please come and get the collar. These collars are important, said Perrin, each looking at them as Perrin said, they serve as many things, your ID, tracker, your own personal card for purchases and protection. The girls nod in understanding, and then Perrin looks at the list. Matsumoto Rangaku Silver. Time skipped a bit after the sorting. Perrin and Naruto lead them into the castle. Now ladies, a few rules. 1. Now that you have your tags, they tell your rank as well. You can rise in rank or lose that rank. But if you want gold, then the gold members and I must talk about it. 2. There are cameras around the place. 3. You can wear sexy clothes or skimpy, but kimonos are regulated to gold members or like myself the only platinum rank, unless you have special permission. I am the head wife and in charge of all. My orders can only be overruled by Naruto's. They are surprised, and Perrin says, Rule 4, no other men are allowed in the castle grounds, as we have gardeners come by. No other men are allowed, but there are special exceptions and you can find the list easily. Now that you are here, you belong to Naruto. He is the only man allowed to touch you, as she gives them a serious look. They are surprised, and then Perrin continues, Rule 5, if you wish to walk around, go right ahead, but know that you might be pulled into a bedroom by another woman. That is allowed, as Naruto is understanding. But I warn you, you are not allowed to kill anyone. 6. You are also to do chores around the place. If Naruto gives you a task, then you do it. Perrin explains. The girls nod, and Naruto snaps his fingers. A few maids appear. Please give them a tour of the castle. The maids bow. Naruto says, if you need me, I will be in my office. Perrin then licks her lips, and she follows him. At Naruto's office, Naruto is at his desk and says, let me guess, a few girls caught your eyes. Perrin rests on Naruto's head, as she says, indeed I have, my love. I am going to enjoy them tonight. I hope you don't mind. Naruto says, depends on who they are. Perrin says, Matsumoto and Helen Parr. What about you? And Naruto says, Jessica Rabbit caught my eye and I want to her. Same with Fantina. As he is going through paperwork which are plans for the upcoming summer. Naruto sees the gardeners will be there soon, as it needs to be taken care of, along with cleaning the windows and other things. He says, I'm guessing you're only here because you had nothing to do today. Perrin says, pretty much. Naruto nods and asks, are you sure you are pregnant, as mom is nagging my ear off for grandkids? Meanwhile outside, the guards are looking at a guy with brown hair, as he's the same one who got shot by about 100 sleeping darts, as they just poke with the butt end of their gun, and one of them, is he dead? I don't know, he's breathing, I think. One of them pokes his side and he groans out, Arius, Akino. The guards look at each other as one of them, Mr. Uzumaki, come in. What is it, Pyro? Asked Naruto as he used the guard's code name. Remember the report of the guy who was trying to get in and got hit with 100 darts? Oh, great, him again. I might have to set the weapons to lethal. Said Naruto, well, just now we thought he was dead, it seems he's alive. Do we connect with his family? Yes, this castle is mine and no other men are allowed inside. Besides, the gardener is coming by soon. Said Naruto. The guards looked at each other as the other said, I will call the mother. At the office, Naruto nods, good. He cuts the call and he says, now then. The next day, a group of vans pulls up with a sign that says, Healthy Garden Caretaker. Stopping at the gate, and wait for it to be open, but the guards are doing their normal check and everyone is getting a retina scan to make sure they are who they say they are, just as a car went through as the driver of the van says, the same guy. As the guard, yup, just another Tuesday, go on through. Then one guard calls Naruto and says, gardeners are all here, sir. Through the radio Naruto answers, that's good, I will head there to greet them. They nod, Roger that sir, as they go back on guarding to make sure no other fools try to get in, again. A few minutes later, as people are taking out tools and other things for their work, as the person in charge is looking through the list to make sure nothing is missing or forgotten. Pamela. The woman named Pamela turns to see Naruto as she says, well, if it isn't my favorite blonde. They hug each other as Naruto and Pamela have been friends for a long time, as her mother started a landscaping company after Kushina got rid of her father. How have you been? Naruto asks. Pamela says, well, business is booming, though I am glad to see you. Also, it seems like a forest is growing around the castle walls. I am glad to be back. So are you ready to see the plan for this spring? Naruto smiles. Oh, you bet it, as this is the time of the year when my girl's prize plants bloom. Pamela chuckles. Let me guess, Lihua still loves to walk the garden. Naruto says, yeah, more so to see her wonderful roses and pear trees. Though I would like you to look at one of them, it does not look well. I will get right on it. How are your special pants? Pamela asks. Naruto says, keeping flies away like they should. I love my ladies, but I hate flies. Also, we burn fallen branches and logs to keep mosquitoes away. Pamela says, how I wish you don't do that, but what can I do? Well, the wood is brought to us by Blaze, one of Mom's business partners, and it is mainly trees that have died, uprooted by storms, and if they were sick, said Naruto. That I'm fine with the cause, anyway, I need to get things going, said Pamela. Naruto nods, and then he points out the tree he is worried about. Pamela nods. She walks over to it. She checks it out, as she can only say, as she studies the tree while the others work on the other plants. Naruto asks, well, you're right to be worried, said Pamela as she had a sad look on her, the tree is dying. Luckily I can do something about it. A tree transplant is you take care of the soil. Naruto says, that's good to hear. Pamela whistles and one of her employees makes a call and then says, 30 minutes boss. Pamela says, let's cut it down. She has a sad tone in her voice. After a while, they switched out the tree as the other was made into things to burn to get rid of mosquitoes. Naruto heads inside as he lets Pamela and her crew handle the garden. Naruto is humming as he walks and he sees Matsumoto and Helen Parr get dragged into a room. Naruto wonders what that is about. But then remembers Perrin had her eyes on them both, and then he sees Jessica Rabbit and Fantina. As he wonders what is going on, they are talking, and Jessica says, did you see how handsome Lord Uzumaki is? Fantina giggles, oh indeed, and I wonder how he is in bed. Naruto sneaks up on them, without notice as they keep talking about him. For 10 or so minutes, Naruto finally says, then follow me ladies as you will get a taste. He grabs their asses making them jump a bit. An hour later, Naruto is Jessica as she is licking Fantina's, both are moaning likely as Jessica shouting, why you're so big. So big. Naruto smirks and keeps her as she keeps screaming while Fantina moans, why you're so good. Why you know what to do with my. Naruto keeps Jessica into Fantina's with them moaning loudly. Naruto is enjoying this, oh Jessica, are you enjoying my ruining your. Jessica moans out as she stops for a few, why yes I do. It is hitting all the right spots in my. Are you glad you agreed to join my harem? Naruto hears both say, why yes we are. Naruto then floods Jessica's womb with his cum as Jessica resumes licking Fantina's, which she also comes. Jessica is moaning like crazy. A bit later, Jessica is out of it as Naruto is Fantina. Fantina screaming as she going crazy as she shouting out, oh, darling why you're reshaping my all for yourself. Naruto keeps her like crazy, and Naruto says, oh, you are a tease, I swear. Many men have tried and yet failed to get you into bed until I got a hold of you. Fantina is screaming. Fantina shouts, yes, I enjoyed teasing those boys with my body. But they will be heartbroken when they find out I belong to you, and I belong in this castle. Naruto smirks as he keeps thrusting more into her. Naruto then whispers, should we send out a video of you telling the world that you now belong to me? Fantina says, no that would be too cruel. Naruto smirks, oh but maybe I want to be cruel to those fools who try to break into my castle. As he keeps her. He wants to do that now while Fantina says, fine why you win. Please do it. Naruto turns her to a camera and says, say it into the camera now my Fantina. As he keeps her in full Nelson. Fantina screams as she shouts, oh. Hello, everyone. I am sorry to say. I belong to Naruto Uzumaki. I live with him at his castle compound. I am going to be his for life. I will be carrying his future children from now on. Shit his is in my womb. I am sorry you beta cucks, I belong to Naruto. Naruto smirks as he keeps her more and more. Naruto then whispers into her ear, you will get pregnant no matter what. I will get you pregnant. He thrusts even harder than before. Fantina is screaming with her tongue hanging out of her mouth with hearts in her eyes. An hour later, Fantina is shaking while her leaking so much of Naruto's cum. Naruto then walks over to Jessica who is waking up and has his at her. Jessica snaps into attention as she looks back and says, what are you doing? Naruto is rubbing her cheek, I am claiming this fat ass of yours. He then squeezes her, and Jessica blushes so badly. Naruto then has his tip at her asshole, Jessica, is it too late to talk you out of it? Naruto smirks and says, oh yeah it is. Tell me Jessica, how many people do you think jack off at seeing this of yours? Jessica says, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. True those tits of yours turned heads but I want this to fully claim you, said Naruto as he is pushing his into her asshole and Jessica moaning loudly. Within a few minutes, Naruto is Jessica's like a madman. Jessica screams as she shouts, oh you're shaping my. Please have mercy on my. Naruto smirks as he keeps it up. Naruto then smacks her, making her scream. Jessica says, so thick. I can't. Naruto keeps her like crazy and Naruto says, oh this is so tight. As he keeps it up. Couple hours later, Jessica is out of it as her is leaking cum and Naruto is Fantina's and he went on the rest of the day and into the next morning. With Perrin, Helen Parr is out of it as Perrin is dominating Matsumoto as she is moaning. Perrin hears Matsumoto, I can't keep up. Perrin smirks and says, only one has ever bested me in the bedroom. That is my husband, Naruto Uzumaki. Matsumoto says, how could he do that? As she moans louder, Perrin smiles and then pulls Matsumoto's and says, you would make a good mother with these tits of yours. Matsumoto says, why you think so? As she moaned louder, Perrin said, I know so. Those tits of yours will make a lot of milk. Good to see Kushina knows how to pick ladies to breed. Matsumoto moans as her nipples are getting pinched and pulled and Perrin smiles. Think about it, Matsumoto walking around with a swelling belly as your body turns into a mother. You're getting bigger, your thighs getting thicker and your tits getting even bigger. Then she licks Matsumoto's ear. Then they're here. I see you two are enjoying yourselves. They turn to see Naruto and Matsumoto says, please help us, she is a asexual beast. Naruto smirked as he says, oh I know, I will admit that when I first had with her, she was tough to break. Naruto walks over to Perrin and says, then I figured out how to beat her and it was via stamina. She was begging me but she was mine. I remember walking you around while leading you by a leash as if you were a trophy. I walk her through the whole castle. And written in marker that she is Uzumaki property. Naruto smirks, as Perrin blushes and shivers. Oh, that was so much fun, said Perrin. Naruto says, glad to hear that. He then kisses her cheek and whispers, enjoy them both, my lady Uzumaki. Perrin smiles while blushing lightly. The next day, Naruto is walking in the garden with Lihua. Oh, it is always sad to see a tree having to go, said Lihua, and Naruto nodded. It does, but what can we do? Naruto asks. Lihua nods. At least we were able to change it out. Also, will the sakura trees bloom soon? Naruto says, in a week. That's good, as I think we should all have a nice picnic under the trees, said Lihua. Oh, that's why I had Kiryu decide what to do for lunch, said Naruto. Lihua said, wonderful. What about the other cooks? Naruto says, they're helping out Kiryu as Kiryu is leading the whole thing. Lihua nods, good, as we don't want her burning out. She is a great cook, but overworking her is a bad idea. Naruto says, I agree with Lihua. One thing I love about you is that you look out for others. He boops her nose, and she blushes. Lihua then kisses Naruto on the lips. That's when they hear, sweetie. The guards wave Kushina in and one says, garden with Lady Lihua. Thank you, she says as both giggle a bit as Lihua says, I thought she was busy. Only son, she makes time if she has to push things around. People understand, said Naruto. Lihua says, if you say so. Naruto then grabs her and she moans. A few moments later, they are in a gazebo drinking tea. A maid walks in with some snacks for the three of them as Naruto says, how are things, mom? Kushina asks, I'm doing well. I can tell you don't look like a train wreck. Then again, you never do, said Naruto with a smile. Kushina giggles, as Lihua says, really though, what's your secret? Kushina says, spite and stubbornness. As she holds up her hand and does a tight grip, which is a loud squeeze along with bones cracking and her knuckles turning white. Everyone around except Naruto is surprised to hear that. Naruto shrugs, that bastard is gone and in hell. Then Kali Belladonna walks over with something for Kushina. Oh no honey, that isn't from your late father, as she takes as she wonders what it is. Then what? Naruto asks. The doubters, the unbelievers, and the worst kind of people who thought I wouldn't make it, said Kushina as she opened the gift. Naruto said, oh, well, forget what I said then. Kali then puts something down in front of Kushina. Kushina squeals as Naruto says, what did you give my mom? He hears the cute, small bark of a puppy. Kushina picks up the little corgi as Kushina says, oh, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen. She holds the little corgi as it has white and black fur. The corgi licks Kushina's cheek, and she giggles. Naruto smirks and then realizes, you know, I thought you would give her a cat. He looks at Kali. Kali says, dogs are better companions when you are stressed at times. You found out that mom doesn't like cats, didn't you? Said Naruto, raising a brow as Kali's head dropped in defeat as if it were true. Yes. Naruto smiles, hugs her, and pats her head. Kushina says, oh, thank you for the gift. She smiles. Naruto asks, so what is the little guy's name? Kushina smiles as she says, Sway. The others cooed at the cute puppy. After a while, Kushina heads home as Naruto is talking to the girls, setting out the plans for the upcoming events. Okay, we all have our tasks. As soon as the cherry blossom viewing party is over, then a week after that, it is the indoor pool party. Everyone listens. Also, some people will be moving up in ranks. We will also have more women joining us 2 days before the pool party, said Naruto. Everyone was surprised at the people moving up and the new ones. Who are the newcomers? Naruto activates the screen to show 6 people. The first one shows Bisca Mulan, who is a woman with long green hair and purple eyes. She has a figure that just screams milk with large as she wears a cowboy hat, and dresses like a cowgirl. This is Bisca Mulan. She is a mother who is bringing her daughter with her. Then another picture appears of Asuka. The ladies all coo over Asuka as she is adorable. Like I said before, and say it again, I will take women who already have children, and I will take them as my own. Then Willow says, yes, when they are that age as you already my daughters as they were of age. Willow is a silver tag. Hey, they are grown-ups, said Naruto. They all giggle. Winter, who like her mother, is silver. Oh, you know you love us. Naruto nods as he laughs. Anyway, up next is Hana Inuzuka. This is Hana Inuzuka, as it shows a woman with long brown hair and red fangs tattoos on her cheeks as she's beautiful. They are surprised. Isn't she the older sister of Kiba Inuzuka? Naruto says, yes, she is. They nod, then Naruto moves on to the next picture showing a family of 3. Which one of them? The other set, Naruto? Asked Perrin. Naruto turns to her, removes her tag, and says, you are being put into a new tag, my love. He then puts a diamond tag on her collar, shocking her. Platinum is now going to be his wife as Gold is his favorite, and Gold is not leaving the master bedroom either, as I am not that cruel. As Platinum will join you, ladies. But to answer your question, Perrin, yes. The husband died, and there was a son, but he vanished. So yes. All of them say, oh no. Naruto nods. The mother is Tasuki Uzaki. He shows a picture of a woman with long silver hair and closed eyes. She's very beautiful and has large, which are likely their K-cup. She is giving off a motherly aura. As the mothers among them, oh another mother, other says, so 2 mothers, ain't you on a roll? Naruto smirks and then shows Hana Uzaki, who looks like the mother but younger and has short hair and blue eyes, and seems she is her mother's daughter cause her are big as they are either J or double J. They blink, and then Unagi appears on screen. She, too, has silver hair, but her bangs cover her eyes. She seems younger than the other, as her cup size is a J cup. She is a gamer, and I have played her before, said Naruto. The other looked at him. She beat me through a fighting game, said Naruto. They were surprised. What? There's always someone better, said Naruto. They just couldn't believe it all. Then Naruto shows one more picture. This is Brandish Muse. She reached out to me via email a few days ago. That's new, said one of them. I think so, but the reason she wishes to join is because her friend Lucy is here, plus her family is gone. Layla says, oh my, oh dear. Yes, please bring my goddaughter. Naruto laughs lightly as he goes on, she is coming willingly. So please welcome her and be there for her. The ladies nod. Time skip a day later. Naruto is in his office on his computer, then a notification appears on the screen and Naruto is confused. It is a video chat request. Naruto thinks, a video chat. He answers it. On screen appears, hello Naruto, it is Praline Charlotte. Well, if it isn't Praline Charlotte, how are you doing, sweetheart? Praline giggles and then says, well, it turns out someone is hunting my family down and Big Bro Katakuri wants me to leave with Smoothie, Galette and Pudding. I thought of you as I think Mama crossed your godfather. Naruto says, or that my history with one of your sisters. Well, Smoothie is the one who suggested we come to you, Naruto, said Praline. Naruto says, are you trying to hit on me? Despite me and Smoothie's history. Praline says, oh, darling, Smoothie knows about the other girls. She is your old sweetheart, so she knows you the best, unlike me and the others. And then you had to move. But can you help us out? Naruto thinks about it and says, depends. What do you want? Our family is being slaughtered and Katakuri wants the 4 of us to escape. Many others are dead or captured as the 4 of us did not join the family business, and she sees Naruto hold up his hand and says, is Smoothie alright? Then he hears, I am here Naruto. Smoothie comes on screen. Naruto smiles softly and says, you look like you've been through a lot, are you okay? Naruto sees a woman with long white hair as charming as Smoothie says, I've been through worse. I will be fine. Tell me what is going on, is my godfather attacking your family for something? Smoothie turned pale. I don't know what it was. It was like a moving shadow of some kind. It all happened so fast, we had to move quickly, grab only a handful of my sisters, the others weren't so lucky though. Naruto sighs, who survived? A couple of my older brothers, the children of course, whatever that was, it only attacked the grown-ups. Names Smoothie, I need names please. Said Naruto. Pudding, myself, Praline, Galette, Smoothie said, and Naruto asked, what about Cinnamon? Smoothie thinks about her youngest of the triplets as she says, I'm not sure. Naruto nods, yeah, I am sorry, but I will get you to my place, I promise. You will be safe. My godfather is powerful, but he has a code he follows, unless you pissed him off and they're pretty much thrown out the window, but that rarely happens. Smoothie nods, I know he has made us an offer to get us to your castle safe and sound. Naruto says, all right, I will be waiting, be safe. Smoothie says, oh Naruto, you know I'm a tough girl. Naruto nods, I know you are, because those bullies were sent home in tears, crying for mommy. So when can I expect you to arrive? 3 days tops, said Smoothie. Good, and by then I will have warm beds and good food for you all, said Naruto. Smoothie said, thank you also, I can't wait to meet the others. They hang up. Naruto says, alright, let's get things ready. Perrin walks in and says, I hope that we can welcome them happily. Naruto nods. An hour later, Naruto is looking through the rooms which are not being used. That's when one of Naruto's girls asks, so what's going on? We are getting some new girls looking for protection. One is from my past, actually, said Naruto as she looked at him, then realized, wait. You mean she is the long-lost sweetheart of yours? Smoothie, yeah, her. She and 3 of her sisters will arrive in 3 days, said Naruto, and the woman said, oh my. This is Black Maria, and she is tall. She is 8 feet 11 inches tall. She is also a silver tag, as she is allowed to wear a kimono. She put in a special request and it was allowed. Indeed. Now then, is there anything you need, Maria? I am wondering if you want me to play at the cherry blossom viewing picnic, asked Maria. Naruto said, oh, Maria, of course. I do enjoy your playing, especially when you play with the other girls who can play their instruments. Maria smiles at that. She walks over and kisses his cheek as Naruto is standing tall at 6 feet 6 inches tall. Naruto says, let the others know. Maria nods, I will, but thank you for answering my question. Also, there is a delivery coming soon of the drinks for the cherry blossom viewing. Naruto smiles. Maria then heads out to let the others know. The next couple of days. It has been 6 days, and then the convoy is approaching, and they look like they got shot at. Naruto looks anxious, which he has been for the last 3 days ago. The guard shouts, open the gates. The gate opens. It takes a few minutes before the vehicles arrived. Naruto is worried and Perrin is with him as she says, they are fine. Naruto don't neigh. She stops as the vehicles stop. One of them opens up and out comes the captain with scoff marks on the armor. Sorry about the wait, the VIN smokes are so annoying. They open one up and he helps Smoothie down with the others. Naruto rushes over to Smoothie and her sisters look fine, just tired. Smoothie smiles at Naruto. Hello Naruto. Naruto hugs her closely. Smoothie giggles as she stands at 8 feet tall, and she hugs him back as she says, sorry to worry you, worry pants. When I heard about the ambush, of course, I feared the worst, said Naruto. Smoothie smiles. That's when they hear, oh, get a room. Naruto turns to see Willow. No wine at the cherry blossom picnic. But, there is a way to make me change my mind, said Naruto. Willow is listening from the windows on the 2nd floor. Finish a quarter of your tasks before the party, and I will order the wine for you, Naruto says, and Willow quicks on her tasks. Naruto chuckles and then Black Maria opens the door as they see a delivery truck coming up to the gate. Oh, just in time too, said Naruto. Maria walks past them, and the delivery person hands her the package. Thank you, she says, and she walks back past them and Smoothie has to look up in surprise. Naruto says, alright, come on, let's go to your room as I hand things here. The convoy has long since left as Naruto and Perrin led them into the castle. Naruto then walks back to the delivery person and signs the papers. The person thanks him and leaves, and Naruto rushes back in. Inside the castle, they are looking around and before they could do anything, Naruto walks in and without a word, he grabs Smoothie and drags her away, as she says, and Naruto, be by us sisters. Perrin giggles, Naruto, have fun with her. She smirks as the others, doing what? Perrin says, well, if I have to guess, something that's long overdue. Smoothie is very nervous as she is being taken away. Half an hour later at Naruto's master bedroom. Smoothie is moaning as Naruto is her hard in doggy style with Smoothie screaming. Naruto even smacks her and his is about to enter her womb with Smoothie shouts, WEF finally having an Naruto. Naruto says, you're so tight. And all mine. As he thrusts more profoundly into her with her screams even louder as she loses it badly. Then his enters her womb, and she screams as Naruto says, I can't believe that you saved yourself. I am yours always yours. Shouted Smoothie as Naruto leaned over and kissed her deeply. Smoothie moaned into the kiss. Naruto's tongue entered her mouth as Naruto was the same height as Smoothie as he had a seal on him that let him change his height. Smoothie thinking, when can he do this? Naruto grabs Smoothies and whispers, do you like this? You see, Black Maria was the first woman I used this on. Smoothie moans loudly as she says, yes. Because now I don't have to look down on you all the time. Naruto smirks and keeps her and says, oh, this is only for why do you think the ceilings are so high? Smoothie screams louder. Naruto then gets her in full Nelson making Smoothie scream. So deep. Smoothie shouts. Naruto then thrusts his right into her womb making her scream with her toes curling, her tongue hanging out of her mouth and her eyes rolling into her head. Naruto smirks as Smoothie shouts, I love you, over and over again as she keeps repeating it with each thrust Naruto makes. Naruto smirked then walked over to a full body mirror as he said, tell me what do you see in that mirror, Smoothie? As he thrusts more in her with Smoothie, Smoothie moaned, IICAAW woman B being B by H her M man whom she loves so much. Naruto then kisses her cheek. Good girl. Smoothie just moans as he keeps her. Couple hours later, Smoothie is on the bed with her head and Naruto has his at her as he says, oh, this is going to be good. Smoothie says, wait, what are why you going to do? Naruto has his at her asshole. Smoothie says, WYO. Naruto's enters her and she is screaming as Naruto says, oh, this is so tight. I love it. Smoothie shouts, why you're destroying my. Naruto says, damn right I am. Naruto is her even smacking her with Smoothie shouts, I can't. If you keep doing this to me, I may never recover my mind. Naruto keeps it up and is happy as he her even more. 12 hours later, Naruto is Smoothie as she has lost much of her mind as all she can think of is Naruto. Naruto is groaning as he keeps it up as Smoothie's K-cup bounce like crazy. Smoothie is moaning like crazy as she says, and Naruto, then Naruto takes his out and says, clean me up, she does as told by his. Naruto groans in pleasure as he says, keep it up Smoothie. Smoothie is enjoying the taste of Naruto's as she thinking, can't leave him anymore. Hearts are in her eyes and popping out of her head. Naruto says, would you like to be mine, forever? Takes the out of her mouth and Smoothie says, why yes please make me yours. Naruto smiles at that, then he places his on her cheek and says, good, now then Smoothie, shall we keep going? Please me more. Said Smoothie as she looked at him and Naruto smirked. A full 24 hours later, Naruto walks out of the room, and Smoothie is passed out on the bed, as her holes are leaking so much cum. Naruto stretches, damn 24 hours holy shit. He hears, about time you two are done. Naruto turns to see Perrin with his counsel. Sorry, ladies. Said Naruto as they all looked at him. Naruto, your ladies' council has talked, and we have come to a decision. Naruto says, and there are. Perrin walks up to Naruto holding a specially made collar with a gold tag with the number 26. Smoothie is to join the gold rank, says Perrin. Naruto blinks. I was going to R reveal who was going to move up D during the cherry blossom watching. Well, more reason to hold off on that, said one of the members of the council. This is Nico Robin gold tag number 7. Naruto nods as he agrees. Good, also I know who to rank up to gold. But I am leaving one spot open and even some ladies going to platinum. Really? Said all of them. Naruto nods. No worries ladies, I promise you will find out. Naruto smiles at them. Time skipped on the morning of the cherry blossom. Naruto is walking as the maids are getting things ready. The ladies who are dancers, singers and instrument players are getting ready as well as he hears from the front, "Alright ladies, remember the single line." As Naruto turns to see Perrin leading the dancers to the stage. Naruto smiles as he says, "We don't have all day. Pick up the pace." They are walking outside, the blankets all set up with Kiryu, and the other chefs are working on the food, which is the finishing touch. Then, the maids bring out the booze and put it in the outdoor bar fridges, ready for the party, which is all coming together. Naruto then gets a phone call. "Hello." Then he hears, "Naruto, darling. How is my wonderful godson?" "Oh, if it isn't Stussy, it's been a while," said Naruto as he was happily surprised by this. "Indeed, darling, I am sorry for not calling, but you know my work keeps me busy. Anyway, I am calling to let you know that I sent you something for the cherry blossom viewing party you always hold with your ladies. It should be there soon." Naruto. "Oh, what is I? Special delivery for Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto turns to a maid holding the package. "Oh, it's here," said Naruto. As he opens the package, Naruto sees a costume. "Did you send me stuff for roleplaying my godmother?" Stussy giggles. "Indeed I did, my dear." Then Naruto finds something that widens his eyes as he hears, "And I believe I found you some sexy harem girl outfits," said Stussy as Naruto. "Oh, nice. I thought I was hoping for a nun one like that one time you did," said Stussy. Stussy giggles. "I still have it. But that store did not have any sexy nun outfits," said Stussy in a sexy voice as if teasing. Naruto shivers. "Oh my, I can't wait to see you again." Stussy giggles again as she says, "Oh you will, as in a month from now, I should be able to retire." Naruto smirks upon that. "Good. I can't wait to have you come home," said Naruto. "Oh me too my sweet boy, now I gotta go, and I will see you soon and promise to keep that bed of yours nice and warm for me my sweetie." Naruto. "Oh I will, see ya soon." Stussy ends the call with a kiss as she hangs out. Naruto says, "Oh the things I'm going to do with her." Naruto then heads to his room and puts the costumes away, then heads to the area. Later at the backyard, before the trees, Bloom Naruto is on the stage and says, "Well everyone, I have some announcements to make before we begin." All the girls are waiting as to what could it be. "First I would like you to welcome the newcomers." The ladies politely clap, as new members walk up as their wave while feeling welcome. They get their collars but Smoothie is confused as she did not get one but was told to stay on stage. Now next some people are moving up in rank. Who could it be? We have 5 from bronze moving up, 4 from silver with a special 1. Along with 5 from gold to the new rank of platinum. Everyone wonders which of the gold tags becomes platinum. First is bronze to silver. I need Tenten, Tamari, Ayame, Layla Heartfilia, and Urza Scarlet to come up here please, said Naruto. They do so, as they are proud to be moving up in rank. Naruto then changes their collars giving them silver tags. He also kisses them on the cheeks as after that they head back down. Naruto then says, "Now for silver to gold please come up Black Maria, Bakura, Selphia and Kali." When they step up to Naruto, he removes their collars with silver tags and replaces them with gold tags with numbers. Maria is 22, Bakura is 23, Selphia is 24, and Kali is 25-5. Now you know those numbers will never change as you are members of the council, even if you move up to platinum. There are only 31 seats. We also have one more becoming a gold tag. Smoothie. Smoothie walks up to Naruto. As she is shocked by this, Naruto says, "The council decided this." As he put the collar on her and it has the number 26, "Oh Naruto." She hugs him. Naruto chuckles and kisses her cheek. "Enjoy my dear." Then after that Naruto says, Now from gold to platinum there are Morelia, Lihua, Meimei, Joka, and Boa. Please come up. Everyone cheers. When Naruto touches the tags they change from gold to platinum. Alright, with that, let's set up, said Naruto. They all finish the setup, with Naruto having the biggest blanket with his favorites and wives and everyone having their own spots with food and drinks. The women who play instruments play while the dancers dance, and the singers sing a nice soft song as the flowers begin to bloom on the trees. They are enjoying this so much as they have their picnic. Soon enough, flowers fully bloom. The party is in high spirits, with them eating, playing games, talking, dancing, flirting or anything in between. Naruto right now is lying down as he's enjoying this, as he is using Lihua's lap as a pillow. Naruto says, I'm happy to see everyone getting along. Indeed, darling, though I am surprised I moved up, said Lihua. Naruto laughed as he said, let's not talk about that, another time. Lihua nods, yes, let's enjoy the picnic, as she feels silly for bringing it up as this might be enjoying this time. Naruto says, I am happy to have you all in my life. Lihua says, oh Naruto. Naruto smiles and says, hell, I am really happy to have this place. Besides, if I never met any of you, I don't know where I would be. Now, that's a scary thought for Naruto. Also for the ladies as well, as many had perverts after them as what likely would be if it wasn't for Naruto. Naruto then says, oh Lihua, before anything, Naruto, said some of Naruto's girls. Naruto turns to see what is going on. They see one of them holding a microphone. It was Meimei and she says, well, before you take Lihua away, I have a song for you. Naruto says, oh, right. I promised to sing, didn't I? Meimei nods, yes, I am keeping you honest to your promises. Naruto says, good. He takes the microphone. The ladies start to play their instruments, and Naruto starts to sing a nice song with everyone listening to him sing. They are enjoying the song. Outside of the walls, many men are growling as if they should be there, not that idiot, as they're on their knees with guards having their weapons aimed at them. Then they get taken away by the offices. That's when the gates open, and maids walk out, handing them food and drinks. One of them says, from Lord Naruto for all your hard work. The guards salute and politely take the food and drinks. Half an hour later, Naruto is taking Lihua and Meimei to a location nearby as it's a hollow tree. Naruto has his hands on their asses as they are smiling as he says, oh ladies, how about you strip and show your husband your bodies as we are going to have fun. Both do so while saying, as you wish. They remove their clothes with their bouncing. Meimei is a double J cup and Lihua's are a J cup as they bounce upon freedom of their clothes case. Naruto smiles and reaches up and grabs one tit each and squeezes as they moan. Naruto says, no matter what, I love seeing my ladies without their clothes. Meimei says, and we love you seeing us like this, my darling. Naruto kisses Meimei. Lihua waits for her turn. Naruto then breaks the kiss and kisses Lihua. Lihua happily kisses back while blushing badly. Naruto even has his tongue invade her mouth. Moments later, Naruto is groaning as he is getting a double tit as he says, keep it up ladies. Lihua and Meimei keep going as Naruto moans and groans as he enjoying this so much. Naruto is happy to be in this position. No, he is happy in his life. An hour later, Naruto is Meimei as he is kissing Lihua. Meimei screams out, oh yes, me. Get me pregnant, I want a child. I want to be a mother. Please make me into a mother, Naruto. Naruto thrusts more and more in her while undoing the kiss and kissing Lihua's neck, moaning out, oh yes, please make us mother. I want to carry our children. Naruto says, oh, I promise by the end of this, you both will be pregnant like Perrin. Both moan loudly. Couple hours later, Meimei is on the ground with cum leaking out of her as Naruto is Lihua's, and as he did with Meimei, he is showing no mercy with her as Lihua shouts, oh yes. Keep it up. I love you so much. I am so glad I accepted that invitation 3 years ago. As his is in her womb, then he kisses on the lips as she moans into the kiss, as Lihua moaning loudly as she loses it more and more, as little does she know, it's not only hers but also Meme's dangerous day, thus they will be pregnant for sure. But that won't stop Naruto anyway, if he knew or not. Naruto then breaks the kiss and says, "Oh Lihua, my beautiful gem, tell me something. How many children do you want?" As he keeps her. An army, Naruto. That's how much I love you. I want to give you an army of sea children. Lihua screams and Meme says, I want to as well. As she pushes her against Naruto's back, Naruto smirks. 12 hours later. It's sundown. Naruto is in his room with Meme and Lihua, and he is them still even though they're semi-passed out with their wombs so full of Naruto's cum. Naruto then feels Joka hug him and feels her against his back. How about me as well, my darling? As he says, you too, huh? Joka says, it's not my fault, everyone else is having. She pouts, Perrin isn't, but she can't have due to her being pregnant after all. Naruto then says, okay, after this then I will have you. Joka says, promise, I don't break them, my dear. Oh, Lihua, I am going to come. He thrusts faster and faster as Lihua screams as she shouts, yes, get me pregnant. That's when Naruto comes so much in her. Lihua moans loudly as his cum floods her womb again and Lihua passes out, fully this time. Naruto turns around and kisses Joka while grabbing her J-cup as she moans. The following day, Naruto is sitting with Perrin, Joka, Meme, and Lihua as Kushina has found a way to tell if someone is pregnant. She looks at Joka, Meme, and Lihua as they are sweating nervously. Naruto is looking at the device and says, congrats you three. Kushina says, oh, our family grows even bigger. Meme, Joka and Lihua are smiling while looking at their bellies, and Perrin has a small bump as it's been a while now for her. Naruto smiles and says, I can't wait. Perrin kisses Naruto's cheek. Kushina nods. Now then, should we get new clothes? Or reuse the old ones? Naruto says, Mom already ordered clothes. Plus we are all stocked up on them. Kushina looks at Naruto as she says, really? Yeah, just wait until of what gender they are and then get maybe toys, for them. Then, a pair of little feet come bounding in. It is Asuka. Little siblings. She shouts. Naruto chuckles as he says, indeed, Asuka. He picks her up and holds her to Kushina, who smiles, adopted or not, still a grandbaby. Naruto smiles at that. Kushina takes Asuka from Naruto and hugs her as she says, oh, you're so cute. Asuka giggles as she likes Kushina's hug. It's been 2 weeks now since the cherry tree bloomed, and we've found out that 3 more women are pregnant with Naruto's children. The women are celebrating, but in the shadows, something is happening as Naruto is in his study room, looking through things and paperwork. Naruto sighs and says, you idiots think this will work. As out of the shadows come male assassins. As one has a knife at Naruto's neck, big talk for a man who is about to die. Well, I'm just surprised that you can still hold that hand, said Naruto. Next thing the man knew, a Naginata blade was going through his chest. He looked down in shock, but none of the blood was on the desk or Naruto at all as the man's hand comes off. Then, the other assassins back off. Naruto says, don't try and escape. It is already too late for you, as the one who had the knife was dead due to the Naginata through his chest and the loss of his hand. He goes back, working on the paperwork. Then the others we all stabbed or even had their throats slit. Naruto says, thank you for not putting any blood on the papers. He smiles as he hears, of course, my darling, Naruto, the one with the Naginata comes out of the shadows and holy shit, she is busty. The woman is wearing a skin-tight kimono, which shows off her figure, but her most prominent features are her. They are M-cup. They are massive and defy gravity as she has short hair as she has her eyes on Naruto. She also has a collar and it is a gold tag with the number 29 on it. Would you like to check if there's more around? Said the woman. Naruto said, yes, Shiranui, my dear, please do. He smiled as she nodded and vanished into the shadows. Naruto says, the Tamanin are awesome, they have always protected the Uzumaki clan. Thank the gods for them. as he gets back into the paperwork. Later into the night, Naruto is walking, and Shiranui appears next to him to walk with him. She smiles at him, and Naruto says, "Well, did you find any more assassins? 20 are going for Perrin, Meimei, Joka, and Lihua, as it seems somehow word is out that they are pregnant." Naruto says, "I guess I have a spy among us, but who?" Meanwhile, further back away from Naruto and Shiranui, a woman hiding in an empty room as she hears in her ear, "I guess the assassins had failed," followed by the woman whispering, "And killed too, you never informed me about the employment of Tamanin." "'Cause I did not know either. I could not find info on them at all or connections to the Uzumaki clan," said the voice through the earpiece. The woman in the shadow sighed at that. "Well, this just makes it harder now, and I don't know if it's just her or more." "I understand, but your mission has not changed at all. The clan's fortune is your target. Do what you must do." The signal is cut off. The woman is Himiko Toga. She is a bronze tag rank as she has a nice figure with a large triple F and a fat. As she is wearing a bikini, she is sneaking around to find the treasure of the Uzumaki clan, but she doesn't go far as someone calls her out. "Toga, there you are. We've been looking for you." Toga grumbles and turns to see Nico, Robin, Koyuki, Kurika, and Yuta. All four are gold tags. Robin has number 7, Kurika has number 10, Koyuki has number 12 and Yuta has 13 on her tag. "Oh girls, sorry, I kinda got lost," said Toga as she thought, "Damn it, I guess I have to play along." Yuta walks over, grabs Toga and takes her to a room, as they have plans to present her to Naruto tonight. Yuta, this isn't my room." "Nope, this is our room. The room we share with Naruto, and tonight he is going to have you." "Let's get her ready, girls," Kurika said with her M-cup bouncing. The others cheered while Toga blushed because she was getting her measurements checked while in her mind, "Oh shit, N no T, this W was N not P part O of T, the P plan. N no," as she can't come up with a reason to talk this out, primarily due to what she already thinks. Well, Toga knows that the fortune that Kushina built up over the years is not at the castle, it is somewhere more secure. She does not leave it with Naruto because she does not want him hurt. Right now, "Oh, this would look lovely on Toga," Koyuki says as she is groping Toga's tits. Toga is blushing badly, as she thinks, "Damn it, I can't think of anything." Yuta is fingering Toga's as Yuta says, "Oh, it's so nice." Robin giggles, then she kisses Toga on the lips, while everyone in the room is trying things on her. Meanwhile, Naruto and Shiranui are looking over a file and they see a woman with heterochromia. Naruto says, "Lukoa, interesting, I think I should meet her." "What do you think, Shiranui?" Shiranui thinks about it. "I think you should when we can," said Shiranui, and Naruto nods. With Kushina. Kushina is busy at work with her secretary as she is about to finish. Kushina sighs, then she hears a bark and turns to see Sway looking at her, panting as he's by her left. Kushina, and, done. She hands it to her secretary. Cerebellum accepts it as she says, "All right, that's all for this morning's workload. I will be back in an hour for the afternoon." Kushina nods as Sarah walks out. The lights start to flicker. Make that 2 or 3 hours, Sarah says. Sure." As she walks out, the light gives out, only coming back on in a few secs then, and sitting in front of Kushina's desk with Sway in their lap giving him scratches under his chin as he is enjoying it. Shadows also cover this person as Kushina says, "It's been a while, Stussy." Kushina turns to the woman in the shadow. Stussy giggles, "Indeed it has, sorry, but my work keeps me busy." Kushina walks over to their chair and asks, "So your reason for this visit?" Stussy says, "Well, Kushina, I will be moving in with Naruto soon. But one thing that has caught my attention." Kushina says, "Wait, moving in? Are you finally retiring? And what has caught your attention?" Stussy says, "Yes, I have already talked to the boss, and he is giving me a great severance pay. But I will still run my spy network for him, on and on again thing. And what has caught my attention is that a group is trying to steal your money." Kushina raised a brow. but the fortune I had made over the years is here." She pointed at the building itself. "Oh yes, I know that, but those idiots don't. It is behind some robust security that my boss helped set up, though I don't remember the exact location since it was built when this building was small. Leaving only you and Blaze has the location and how to get through it," said Stussy. Kushina nods as there's an old from over a decade ago when she started her company, how it used to be a small building like it was a hole-on-a-wall kind of building, but as time went on, it got more prominent as well, taking over the nearby buildings, until it became what it is today. Stussy laughs. "I remember when this place only had 3 employees, but then over time it grew and became this powerful." "Does my darling, Naruto, know how to run the company?" Kushina says, "Yes, he's taught by the best I can afford, and he's an employee who handles the budget and a couple of other things, but given I'm too scared to have him be out here, I have him work remotely." Stussy nods. "Yes, I see it. The Tamanin are doing their job though. Tell me, Kushina, do you know a woman named Shaki?" Kushina blinks. "You mean my oldest friend?" "Of course I do." Stussy nods and says, "Good, as I have word she has info I want and I need to find her." "You know where she is, Kushina?" Kushina looks at her and asks, "Why do you ask?" Stussy says, "The info she has is about an item that needs to be destroyed. It is the amulet of control." Kushina sighed. "That again," said Kushina, as she had heard about it before. Stussy nods. "You are the biggest target for that amulet." Before she goes on, "I heard the stories before, Stussy. You're not the first, but you will be the last one," said Kushina. Stussy nodded. "Once Blaze gets it, he will destroy it. Just tell me where she is." Stussy asks. Kushina stiffens and then drops her shoulders as she walks over to her and whispers into Stussy's ear, "Where Shaki is." Then Stussy says, "Thank you. I am doing this to protect you and my beloved Naruto." Kushina, "And I did what I did to protect my friend who was there for me during the darkest time of my life, and I just couldn't help her on her own." She looks to the side. Stussy nods. "No worries, I will not hurt her. Just free her from that evil burden and you can have your friend back." Kushina nods. "Thank you." Kushina turns back around and Stussy vanishes as Kushina says, "Would you like a drink?" and notices that Stussy is gone. "Drink," she sighs. "Hate when she does that," said Kushina as Sway barks happily. But there is a note and she reads it. "I will have that drink with you one day." Time skip. Naruto is being led to the room where Toga is as it is time to her. He is being led by Robin as he says, "I can't wait, my dear Robin." The time skip. Robin, "Is she ready for me?" Robin says, "Yes she is." She smiles. Meanwhile with Toga. Toga is panting, trying to think of a way out of it as her time is running out as she thinks, "What do I do? Why can't I think of anything?" Then she gets a message. What is going on over there? As it is from her handler as she tries to reply, but the door opens. Naruto then walks into the room and the door closes behind him as Toga thinks, oh no. Meanwhile, where Toga's handler is. Damn it, Toga, what is going on? Orange-haired girl with a nice figure with long orange hair, growls. Then she hears moaning over her headphones, "Damn it. Having trouble? I see," said a voice in the room. It was meant to be empty, and only the orange-haired woman was meant to be alone. She looked around as she said, "Who's there?" She brought out her staff. She looks around and realizes, it's darkened, and the lights are gone. Damn it, she says, thinking that the plans to steal the fortune of the Uzumaki have gone up in flames. Little does she know. With Toga, Naruto is Toga in a full Nelson as she is moaning like crazy and shouting out, "I love you, Naruto." With hearts in her eyes as she forgot why she was here in the first place. Naruto smirks as he is her hard, destroying her mind, and Toga doesn't seem to care anymore as she just wants more of Naruto. Naruto then whispers, "You truly belong to me now." As he thrusts even more profound into her, Toga screams louder as she shouts, "Yes, please keep me here and I want to be forever yours. I am nothing more than your maid." Naruto says, "No, you're mine, woman." Toga is screaming as he keeps her. Couple hours later, Toga is just out of it. Since it is her first time with Naruto, she doesn't have the level of stamina like everyone else. Naruto laughs, and then someone appears and enters the room with a note. Wonder who this is from? Naruto asks as he picks it up and reads what it says. A gift from my wonderful and beloved godson, from your loving godmother Stussy. Naruto wonders what could it be. As he hears, Naruto, there's a passed out woman that we don't know of on your bed. Naruto walks to his room and finds a bound and gagged woman. Naruto blinks as the woman seems to have just got into a fight. Naruto then looks at the note and says, it seems this is the gift from my godmother. Perrin asks, are you sure about love? And Naruto shows her the note. Perrin says, oh my, but why though? Naruto says, no idea, but she does need medical attention, so put her on house arrest. Perrin nods, then whistles, and then Tamanin appears and takes her to the medical room. The next day, the woman starts to wake up, but she can't move her arms and legs as she sees someone above her. Good, you're up, morning. She sees Naruto standing there with a few Tamanin women, and Naruto says, hello there. I believe your name is Nami, right? Nami girls and tries to struggle. Let me go, said Nami as she kept it up, her J-cup bouncing. Naruto watched her bouncing as he thought, damn, she's something else. Then he also thinks, but she is also known to steal people to the point of them losing everything. Nami growls, and then she is chopped on the forehead by none other than Shiranui as she says, stop struggling, can't you see you are giving your bad rope burn? Nami then looks at Naruto helplessly. As she says, she hit me. Only for Naruto to chop her in the head this time. Naruto says, I mean, she was right about it, don't want your nice skin to be ruined. Nami is shocked as her seduction does not work at all on Naruto. Naruto leans in and says, yeah, basic level of seduction doesn't work on me. Nami then tries advance, but Naruto points to Shiranui. Not going to work, for now, Shiranui, you and your fellow Tamanins keep your eyes on her at all times until I figure out what to do. Shiranui smirks and says, we can do that. Naruto says, all right then, let me know for anything and I forget, make sure she doesn't leave as well. Naruto walks out of the room. Later, the kitchen. Naruto is enjoying a meal as he hears his girls talking about things, like, Naruto, could you help? Naruto swallows his food and asks, is that Issei again, Rias? He is on the grounds. Shouts Rias with tears of frustration as she points out the window and everyone turns to see. Outside, Issei is running on the grounds when he is tackled to the ground by soldiers who are not being gentle at all, more so cause they got tricked by him, as one of them says, you're lucky that we do not allow you to bring har. Issei then elbows one of them in the face, Rias my love, as he leaps toward the window. But, Issei then is met with a wall coming out of the ground blocking and sealing all entrances to the castle. Then the guards quickly grab him and roughly cuff him as he screams, you're hurting me. And before the guards can do anything else, guards, I think it's high time we remove him, permanently, said the voice of Naruto, who at the same window that Issei about to crush though as it's open. Sir, you don't mean, one of the guards asks. How many times has this idiot gotten and tried to get to my women? Plus this is private property, I have a right to order his death, asked Naruto. The guards looked uneasy, or that, make sure he never walks again, said Naruto. They smirk and then drag him away as he says, no. What are you doing? I am here to bring back my girlfriend. Rias pops out of the window after the lockdown was lifted as she shouts, we broke up, you. Or did you forget it? It's not worth it. Naruto held her close. What's going on? Rias asks. There is an ultimate defense, no one in or out of the castle. It is called hibernation mode. It is a last resort to protect everyone in this castle. Rias blinks upon that. I see. Then she hears Issei begin to cry in pain as the beating has already started. Naruto makes a call to a lawyer. Yes, it's time to set up that restraining order for not only Rias but me and others. Yes, I see. yes I will bring proof and witness, yes, okay, thank you. I will send you the videos, Miss Faye. Naruto then hangs up as Rias says, finally. As she cries in relief, Naruto hugs her. Sorry for taking this long, says Naruto. Rias says, it is okay. She has a collar with a silver tag as she sniffs and says, I found him cheating on me, and I broke up with him, and he started going crazy. Even though you were a part of his harem with others. Said Naruto, yes but it was someone we didn't approve of, said Rias and then said, hell, when the others found out they slowly started to leave as well, hell, Akeno is here as a bronze tag. Naruto says, yup, and you said you haven't heard from your other friends for a long time. Rias says, not after we left Ise. That idiot, hell I am still surprised you have my mother in your harem with her being a silver tag. Naruto says, there are reasons, but for now, I have things to do. Rias nods as Naruto heads toward his office. Later that night, Naruto is looking at a tied-up Nami as she says, what do you want? Nami, as she glares, Naruto smirks and asks, Robin, is she ready? Robin says, yes, more so since she's my friend after all. Naruto looks at her, oh my, your friend needs to be punished for trying to steal from your man, Robin. Really? Oh, I'm aware, that's why I did this, said Robin as she held up a controller and turns it on max level. Nami screams because she has so many vibrators within her and they just shaking like crazy in her. I was going to use a shock collar but I was talked out of it. Naruto smirks. Oh, after I get her, don't we still have that hole in the wall so the ladies can walk by her and smack her? Nami widens her eyes upon hearing that while moaning more. Robin says, yes we do, since you never did order anyone to patch it up after all. Well, it was always for punishments. You girls have never done anything that bad to be put into it. But Akeno enjoys being in it, said Naruto, with Robin giggles, true but it seems we have another now. Naruto nods, after I am done with her she is to be in it for 2 days so all the ladies can spank her. Robin says, alright, enjoy. As she walks out, Nami screams, Robin, don't leave me with him. Robin waves as she closes the door as Nami shouts, Robin. An hour later, Naruto as Nami in full Nelson makes her scream with her shouting out, no please and no. With her eyes rolled upward, Naruto says, what's the matter? Can't handle my. Nami keeps screaming as she loses her mind like crazy. Naruto keeps her hard as he will keep punishing her. Nami shouts, why you're breaking me? Naruto says, oh like I did with Toga, the one who worked for you. Nami's eyes widened in shock, what happened? She just realized she dropped her guard, and Naruto grinned at that as he got her now. Nami screams her 10 times harder than before. Nami is losing it even more as Naruto says, that's what I was waiting for. For you to drop your guard. Nami screams as she knows that she is done for. 3 hours later, Nami is passed out with so much cum leaking out of her, but Naruto is still horny as hell, so what is he doing? Oh, he is Robin as he carrying her by holding onto her sides with Robin shouting out, yes me harder, and Naruto. Show me why I can't never leave here. Then Naruto is Robin in the mating press as she is moaning and then he kisses her as he her more and more. That's when someone walks in, is Hana. Oh my, I arrived at the wrong time. Said Hana as the two still with Naruto heard her. Naruto breaks the kiss, get your over here. Hana says, but. Get your sexy over here now. Naruto ordered as it gets Hana turned on, hard. Hana slowly walks over to Naruto and Robin. Soon enough, Hana is having her being licked by Robin as Naruto is her. Hana moans out. This I is C crazy. Wyd does this F feel S so G good. Naruto says, this is what happens here. A bit later, Naruto is Hana in a full Nelson as Robin is kissing Hana as they blushing badly. Naruto smirks as he says, this is wonderful, you are now fully home. Both say, why yes we do. Naruto smirked as he kept it up. Hana is moaning like crazy. Naruto keeps it up as he wants more. Couple hours later, Hana is passed out while Naruto is Robin in a ballerina position with her moaning out. Yes, Naruto, please me more. I want to have your child. Please make me a mommy. Naruto says, you're sure? After all, isn't your mother coming by to check on you soon? Robin says, yes she is, but I want to be a mother. With hearts in her eyes, Naruto keeps her as Robin is moaning happily to be a mother. Hours later, Robin is happily moaning with her licking his while she is lying on the bed with him as she is happy to be here. Naruto lets out a sigh. Alright, I should eat something before it's too late and it's late. He looks outside as if it's dark. Naruto just stares out the window then says, oh Hana is going to kill me for skipping my meals, again, but then Hana comes in with a tray of food as she says, hello Naruto, though she has a smile yet it's making Naruto sweat. Eat Yubaka or else, said Hana, as she still smiled. Naruto nodded and starts to eat as Hana says, good boy, as she sits next to him. Out of the women that Naruto fears the most, it's Hana. Naruto eats all of his food as he says, sorry, Hana. He smiles softly, and Hana sighs, Yubaka. I am a doctor who has to look out for you as well. Naruto smiles as Hana says, and above that I'm a woman in love who deeply cares for the man she loves the most and wants to take good care of him, as she rests her head on Naruto's shoulder, then kisses his cheek. I know for sure, I'm going to live a very long life, said Naruto. Hana giggled, indeed. Now tell me who you're going to get pregnant with next. Naruto thinks about it. Good question, said Naruto. Hana giggles and then whispers, I hope I get my turn soon. The next day, with Kushina. It's another day at the company, and Kushina has free time, as she has no paperwork to work on at the moment. As she is sitting, she looks through the window and spots someone walking with her son, Naruto. Kushina smiles as she says, Sway. Look who came over for a visit. Sway rushes out and jumps. When the door opens with Naruto behind it, Naruto catches Sway as he zooms toward him. Whoa, said Naruto as he was caught off guard. Sway barked happily. Hey boy, said Naruto as he patted him. Sway barked, and Naruto said, hey, mom, look who I found. As he turns to Nico Olivia. Kushina sees time seem to be slowing down as Nico Olivia enters the room. She has short white hair with blue eyes as she seems like an older version of Robin, same figure and all, but with her being bigger as their K-cup. Kushina feels her heart racing as she wears the clothes of someone digs up the past. Naruto then whispers into Olivia's ear, hurt my mother in any way and no one will ever be able to find your body. Olivia, I beg your pardon. Naruto doesn't say anything, he just gives a thumbs up as he walks out. As he is heading for Bellum, hello Sarah, Sarah blushes. In Kushina's office, so, Olivia, I see you're back from your least excavation, said Kushina as she tried to make small talk. Olivia nods, yeah I am, it was a good one. I found a lost item of the Uzumaki clan. Kushina widens her eyes, why you did? What does it look like? What is it? Well, it's nothing special, really, said Olivia as she looked for it in her backpack. Where is it? Ha ha, there you are, she said as she pulled out a very old mask. Kushina's eyes widen in fear and say, that is the M mask of the S Shinigami. Olivia says, yes, it is, I heard many stories about this mask, how it would summon the deity that the mask is based on, and other supernatural things, but it's old stories and myths. Then Kushina walks over to her and asks, may I see it? Olivia hands it to Kushina. Kushina takes it and gently caresses it. I hear many stories about this mask myself from my great-grandmother, Himawari, that was her name. She would tell me how this thing like you said summoned the Shinigami and how it would release the souls that it had consumed. Olivia is surprised by this, then Kushina walks over to a case and puts it in, then pushes a button as Olivia, wait, what are you doing? It belongs to a museum, Kushina. It was not a gift. Kushina turns back to her and says, I know and I'm sorry. But it still belongs to my family and clan A and Sai. Please just let this slide and I will do whatever you wish. A maid appears and looks at the mask and freezes in fear. Both turn to see the maid. What the? The maid then makes a quick call. Lord Blaze Code Alpha Black. The mask has been found. I repeat, the mask has been found. Both about to say, as they hear something burst through the wall, and they move toward the mask and get it out and then throw down smoke bombs and they are gone with the mask, and the wall was repaired. What? Said Kushina as she just blinked. There was a note that said, sorry, Kushina, but this belongs to the Shinigami. That's when Olivia shouts, thief. She just runs off with Kushina as she says, Olivia, wait. 30 minutes later, Kushina and Olivia are at a site with runes and Blaze is chanting as they run the guards to stop them, as Olivia, hey, let me though. I need to get it back. Kushina says, Olivia s. The mask glows, and then a portal appears with the mask sinking into it. Then a woman with long white hair rises out of the portal and she is barefoot, wearing a kimono. Kushina blinks as she says, what? Who? Olivia forgets about the woman as she says, where is the mask? The woman looks at them, and the mask appears on her face. She transforms into what the Shinigami looks like in the history books. She says, sleep, as she waves her hand, causing both Kushina and Olivia to fall asleep. The last words were, take them somewhere safe as I have talked with the, then turned fully dark. She then turns to Blaze as she transforms back and asks, is he ready? Some of the goddesses are getting impatient. The Shinigami says, and Blaze sighs as he looks at the goddess. Couple hours later, Kushina is at home, on her bed with Olivia on her chest. Both wake up groaning as she begins to wake up. Olivia looks up and looks at Kushina and blushes, both in their underwear, thinking, what happened? They get up but before Olivia moves, Kushina grabs her and holds her to her. She is angry and she says, what did you do? As she was furious, squeezing Kushina and waving her arms like crazy, and nothing. Then a note is found in Kushina's hand as she says, please let me go. I need to see what it is. Olivia says, no way. Why should I? Then the note that in Kushina's hand, now somehow hits on Olivia's face, which she sees, stop beating around the damn bush and already. Olivia blushed as she just let go of Kushina. She blushes, and then Kushina reads it and blushes as she stutterly says, how about you and I have some fun, as she knows no way Olivia would go for it. That is, until Kushina hears, OIT. Then Olivia tackles Kushina to the bed, and both just go at it like wild animals, tearing off what little they have on. Olivia is on Kushina's. Kushina moans loudly as she has a hand on Olivia's head. She loves this. Olivia is going to town on Kushina. With Naruto. Naruto is reading over some stuff, but then he sees Sarah walk in. He quietly licks his lips, and then he asks, by the way, Sarah, what was the yelling I heard earlier? Sarah Bellum said, Olivia did shout out the word thief, and she and Ms. Uzumaki ran out. Naruto blinks. Really? Sarah nods, yes Mr. Uzumaki. Sarah says, and with that, I'm very much free, do you have anything in mind? Naruto smirks and gets up and walks over to her, then grabs her and squeezes as Sarah says, and Naruto what are you doing? Naruto says, oh don't like surprises, I know you've been teasing me for the longest time, ever since I first met you when you became mom's secretary 5 years ago. Naruto then reaches under her skirt and feels lips. Oh, how bold, says Naruto as Sarah admits, fine, why you caught me. Naruto undoes her buttoned shirt as he says, it's a good thing I got this room that's away from people's reach of hearing. Naruto then grabs her, which are double K cups, and plays with them as Naruto says, damn no bra too. It's like you know this would happen. Sarah is moaning as Naruto keeps playing with her. As Naruto says, answer me or else the nipples get it. Sarah is moaning as she says, BBU, Naruto then pulls her nipples making her scream and her knees shake. Naruto says, I'm not hearing an answer. Naruto smirked as Sarah said, IIH had D dreams O of Y you see claiming M me A all F for Y yourself. A minus and T that's why I stopped W wearing a bra, H hoping F for this T to happen. Naruto smirks, then let her nipples go and she is on her knees then Naruto's hits her in the face as Naruto says, well, let's make that dream a reality. She opens her mouth and takes Naruto's into her mouth. Moments later, Naruto is her face as she moans and she fingers her as she thinks, he is S so G good he W will see claim me. As Naruto thrusts his more in Sarah's mouth. Naruto is groaning in pleasure with Sarah moaning louder as she Naruto's more. Naruto groans then comes into her mouth as she moans. Then he takes out his from her mouth and says, use those tits to cover my. Sarah does as told as she wraps her around his and moans at the warmth from Naruto's through her. She licks the tip when it peeks out from her. Naruto says, oh yes that's it Sarah keep it up and soon, I will be your soon. Sarah keeps it up. Naruto is smirking as he has Sarah right now. Back with Kushina and Olivia. Kushina is moaning as Olivia plays with her as well licking Kushina's. Kushina moans out, oh, Olivia. Olivia keeps it up then she stops and moves over to her and kisses Kushina deeply. Kushina moans into the kiss. Moments later, both are licking each other's pussies as they moan loudly. They are enjoying the moment as they just can't seem to stop as they just want to taste each other non-stop. Both are moaning as they say in between licks, starting with Kushina, OT this tastes S so G good and it feels S so good. While Olivia says, why you are right T this I is G good. As she and Kushina just come as they're just back into it as they, licking and slurping each other's. Back with Naruto. Naruto is Sarah against the copier and she accidentally pushed the copy button and her were photocopied as Naruto thrusts deeply into Sarah's with her moaning like crazy as she saying, oh Naruto you are me like crazy you are a beast. Naruto says, damn right and you belong to me. So I think I will take you as my personal secretary. Naruto then smacks her and she screams. An hour later, Naruto is playing with her while her on the table and is her hard as he thrusts more in her. Sarah screams louder as she is now in love with Naruto, totally and ultimately. Naruto then asks, tell me Sarah how much do you want to be mine? I want to be yours and yours alone. Shouted Sarah as her tongue hung out of her mouth. Naruto smirked as he kept it up. With Kushina and Olivia. Kushina is looking at Olivia, who is looking for something in Kushina's drawer. Kushina knows what it is. Olivia smirks pulls out a pill and takes it. Kushina says, wait how did yo? Olivia gains a, and it's a big one, 18 inches. Kushina gulps as she stares at it. Olivia walks over and gets between Kushina's legs, as Kushian says, why your way be bigger than M my ex. Olivia says, good, she thrusts right into Kushina's, which both let out long screams, moans as they say, oh shit. Olivia thrusts deeply in Kushina's which is insanely tight which makes sense given she hasn't had for more than a decade after all. Olivia is groaning as well. As she says, oh this feels so good. She thrusts harder. With Naruto and Sarah. Naruto is Sarah's making her scream. As he says, who do you love? Sarah shouts, I love you and only you. No one else should even touch me at all. I belong to you. Please give me a collar. Naruto smirks as he says, as soon as we get home. Naruto then bites her on the neck making her moan. Couple hours later, Sarah is out of it with cum leaking out of her and Naruto smirks as he says, that was amazing, as he looks over at his work and Sarah says, and Naruto D darling, P please L let M me R rest. Hearts popping out of her head. Naruto says, give me a reason why I should. As he walks over to her. Back at Kushina's place, Olivia is Kushina in a full Nelson as Kushina shouts out, so be big A and deep. Olivia whispers, you will be my wife no matter what. You will be mine. Kushian says, I is T that why your M marriage proposal. Olivia says, I am not letting you go. As she thrusts deeper into Kushina. T then yes, I will be your wife. Kushina shouts, and Olivia says, good, as Naruto has already threatened me. Kushina says, he's overly protective of me. C cause he doesn't want me to get hurt again. Olivia says, the tone of voice he used was scary, as she thrusts more into Kushina, making her moan louder. Kushina is enjoying this so much as she shouts, please let's talk about that after we done. They well into the night. In the morning, at the castle's kitchen, Naruto is finishing breakfast as Sarah heads out with her new item, a collar with a silver tag, as Naruto watches her bounce and jiggle with each movement she makes. Naruto smiles, and then he hears his phone ring. Naruto picks it up. Hello mom. He listens, eats, and says, oh, Olivia stayed the night with you. That's good. Then he listens more. Wait, you think you saw the god of death? Wait, goddess, huh, who knew? But you're not sure if it was real or not, then. Then he heard, you think you saw Blaze chanting? Asked Naruto, you are not sure because your memory feels foggy. Naruto nods and sighs, I understand. I love you too mom, tell Olivia my threat still stands. Wait, you're not going to? Why? Oh, okay, tell her after you two are done. Then why the hell are you calling me now? Then he hears, oh cause you know that Sarah is here with me. Damn, you're good, you gotta tell me your secrets of how you know things. Mom, yeah, I will let her know. Okay, bye and see ya soon. Naruto hung up, finished his breakfast, and headed to his office. Naruto then entered his office, sat down, grabbed a file, and opened it. Don't even think about it. Damn it, I thought I had you there. I must be losing my touch, said a woman, and Naruto says, the perfume gave you away, let me guess, lavender. It smells wonderful. Walking out of the shadows is a woman and she giggles, oh dear, you noticed, good, you don't let your guard down. As she wraps her arms around him, the woman in question has blonde hair, blue eyes, a bombshell of figure. She then turns him around and smiles, hello darling. Hey Stussy, I thought you said that you had a month left before retiring. Naruto asks, oh I do sweetie, but that does not mean I can't come by to see you. She stands up straight in her bounce, oh, how he wishes he could grab them right now. I see, so why are you here? Naruto asks. Stussy smiles and says, to see you darling, tell me, do you still have the items? Naruto without looking opens the drawer and brings out a collar and a small box. Stussy smiles seeing the gold and diamond tag in the box. Good, sweetie, but not yet. I still have 2 more weeks before I am done. But I have something to hold you over. Naruto raised a brow, really? What is it? Stussy smiles. Not yet, you know when I leave, as I want to talk to you for a bit. Naruto nods, and then Stussy brings out a destroyed necklace. So tell me, sweetie, do you still burn unwanted items? Naruto says, not in a while. Why? 'Cause I need this to be destroyed. This is the amulet of control. In the wrong hands you will lose everything. Said Stussy as a maid appears with a container for it and opens it. I will destroy it, Lady Stussy. Thank you, says Stussy. The maid nods as she walks out. Naruto says, is that I? He can't finish. Cause Stussy places her hands on his cheeks and on the spot, she gives Naruto the hottest kiss she ever give. Naruto moans into the kiss, same goes Stussy. Then she is done, and says, that is what I'm going to hold you over, as she walks to the side and just before Naruto could grab, only to find that she is already gone. Naruto sighs and says, soon, my godmother, you will be back in my arms again. For now, I have a raging boner to take care of. Naruto then finds 2 photos upside down. Naruto looks at them, and soon enough, he gets a nosebleed. Why? One is Stussy on the beach in a sexy bikini and the other is a picture of Stussy in bed with her blanket covering up her nipples in. Naruto says, damn that woman. With his brow twitches, then he sighs, be still my heart, soon I will have her in my arms once more. The next day, Naruto is walking out with a blonde woman and Shiranui, as Shiranui asks, where are we going, Naruto? To the mall, as it seems someone wants to speak with me there, said Naruto. The blonde hair says, why there? She didn't seem to understand, as she was wearing a business suit as it is all black, as it fits her tightly due to her figure, double J cup, thick hips and legs. A car pulls up and they get in as it is bigger on the inside than the outside. Jenkins, to the mall please, said Naruto. Right away sir, said the driver. As the vehicle was heading to its destination, the blonde woman, named Artoria, said, well sir Naruto, I hate when you leave the castle, you know that. She pouted cutely as Naruto said, you know, you're cute when you do that. Artoria blushes hearing that, and Shiranui giggles, anyway. Please inform me when you are going places, Sir Naruto. Naruto says, that reminds me, I should have let Hina and Doll know about this. Both look at him with Artoria. You thought about that, now? Artoria blushes even redder, and Naruto says, who is embarrassed? Yeah, I just didn't think about it, Naruto said. Artoria sighs with Shiranui saying, you have had a lot on your mind, Naruto. Naruto says, finals are coming up, which means no for me for a while. Artoria sighed, I will make calls cause then the other will be unhappy to hear that. Naruto sighs, it has to happen. I know they will be unhappy about this. But my education is also important. After all, when my mother steps down, it will be up to me to take over, so I need my know-how. The guards both nod at that. Then the driver says, we have arrived. He parks and the three get out of the car as Naruto says, Jenkins, you are free to do anything you want, and hell, he hands the driver a card, anything is on me. Thank you sir. As Jenkins has a family and is planning on getting his daughter a birthday gift, Naruto smiles, think none of it, after all, you've been good to me, it's the least I could do. Jenkins nods and heads into the mall to get a gift. With that, Naruto heads in along with his bodyguards. Naruto and his guards are getting stares, well, more so toward the two ladies with him. After all, not every day one would see such amazing beauty the two have. But many females are looking at Naruto with lust in their eyes. Naruto laughs, as they head into a video game store as he is going to get himself some new games. But little does Naruto know, he's being followed. Well, by a moment, Naruto gets the games he wanted and they walk out as he says, now then, to look for that person. Hello. They turn to see a woman with long blonde hair with a pink hat, wearing a black tank top which it's hugging onto her gigantic, which they can tell is world class, shorts with long black stocks that cover her thick legs, but what's more, they see that she has horns. Naruto says, you must be Lusao. The woman, named Lusao, nods as she says, that's me, so glad for you to meet me here. Naruto says, how about we sit down so we can talk? And before they go, help the thief. As everyone turns to see a tiny man running for it as he holds a pile of underwear and bra. Naruto sticks out his leg and trips the little bastard as he says, Artoria, handle this. She grabs the little bastard and shakes him, making him drop everything he has as she goes to the mall cops. Naruto is looking at the pile in shock as he thinks, how many did he grab? Shiranui growls as she has a knife out but is stopped by Naruto. He says, down girl. Shiranui pouts as she says, no fair. Naruto and Lusao chuckle and giggle. Naruto then says, so you wish to join? Lusao places her finger on her lips, not here, let's go somewhere with less ears. Naruto nods, Artoria will find us. And like that, they go somewhere more private. Naruto and Lusao are talking to each other about a deal. Now tell me what the legendary Quetzalcoatl wants with me. Oh, you know who I am. Well, kinda had to, cause you gave me no last name and I had people look you up and nothing, said Naruto as he was really surprised an Aztec goddesses the feathered serpent wanted to talk with him. Lusao giggles, sorry for that, since I'm a dragon, we are not accustomed to having last names as you humans do. Naruto looks at her, not trying to hide it. Lusao says, I have no reason. But now that you asked, well, let's just say many goddesses have their eyes on you. Naruto says, No way, I'm just a guy. You are more special than you think, said Lu Xiao. Naruto was about to ask more but that's all I'm going to say, I can't spoil the rest. But I have heard a lot of things about you, said Lu Xiao. Naruto says, like what? Lu Xiao says, oh how you are an animal in bed. Naruto blinks, also it is said you can tame any woman in the bedroom that you haven't met yet. Naruto says, damn that's some high praise. Lu Xiao nods, hell Aphrodite is saying if you can tame her she will be your slave for the rest of time. She realized what she said. Aphrodite huh? Naruto asks. Naruto then laughs, oh boy I am not surprised. Legend says that she had many lovers so I am not surprised that she is targeting me. Lu Xiao says, I shouldn't have say that. Naruto smirks and snaps his fingers and Shiranui pulls out a bottle of booze. You are coming with me Lu Xiao. Lu Xiao looks at it as she follows with the booze being used as a lure. They head back to their ride and from there head home. Naruto is looking at Lu Xiao and she is watching the booze. Shiranui do you know how old that booze is? Asked Naruto. Shiranui says, from what I hear, no, but it is a gift from Blaze, aka your godfather. He has told me that bottle and others like it were brewed about 5,000 years ago, said Naruto. Shiranui says, won't that mean this is no good anymore? Lukoa is shocked and Naruto says, nope the Phoenixkage family has a method to brew booze that will last for a long time. Wait, that doesn't fully explain how long, hold on let me make a call. Moments later, Naruto it has been too long you never call, you never write. I thought you forgot all about me, said a teasing Blaze through the phone. Sorry, I'm just occupied. So quick question, how does your family brew booze least? Like how many years? Oh booze stored properly and unopened will last for an eternity, but can't say for an open one. That bottle I gave you has never been opened at all so you're good, said Blaze through the phone. That's good to hear. Now then, now that I have you, I have a couple questions, like for one, do you know any that still uses a real fancy letter? Asked Naruto and Blaze says, depends on what you mean by fancy letters. You know, this paper felt very nice with golden designs and a wax seal with some kind of symbol or chest of something, said Naruto and Blaze asks, I know of it, why do you ask? Someone Al Ghul asked for me, I think I messed up the name as it's something I'm no. Blaze cuts in, you mean Al Ghul? Naruto listen to me, don't reply or reach out to them, I will handle it. I know who that is and trust me they are powerful. So don't do anything. Naruto blinks as he asks, oh okay, just who? Blaze says, you don't want to know yet. Leave this to me. You did not respond did you? No I haven't and I don't think my mom knows about it, said Naruto as he isn't if she had gotten the same letter or not. Blaze says, she knows about them and knows not to respond so you did the right thing asking me about this. Naruto nods, yeah, and the other thing, I found out I might be on a wanted list for maybe more than one goddess. Blaze says, put me on speaker. Naruto is confused about that but he does so and soon enough, you're on speaker, said Naruto, then Blaze shouts, Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl tries to hide but couldn't due to the fact she is in a car as she hears, damn you, you air-headed serpent. You weren't supposed to tell him about that. I was going to ease him into it and anyone else. Naruto says, wait you going to a flash happens and both Naruto and all of them appear at Blaze's home and he is out front with a woman Naruto does not know at all as it is none of his wives. Naruto says, where am I? Then he sees Shiranui is there as well, Lord Blaze's home. They see him hanging up his phone, and he does not look happy, as Naruto says, why are we here? Blaze points toward one person alone, who is trying to get away but she can't because his soldiers are holding Lu Xiao then she is jolted when Blaze calls her out. Bring her here now, and the guards do so while Lu Xiao says, no please. Naruto stands there and watches as she is on her knees and Blaze says, you will be punished. Shinigami, go explain to Naruto please. She nods and walks over, but his guards get in front of her and she walks right through them. Naruto says, "Wait, shish." "Yes, the Shinigami. I was summoned because Blaze used the mask to summon me. Now would you like me to explain?" asked Shinigami. Naruto blinks as he looks at her as he compares what he has been told when he was young. But," said Naruto. Then the Shinigami turned into the form he knew. "You expected me to look like this all the time? Hell no." She returns to her true form. "Do you know how many men would die just to try and woo me to be their wife? I used that to prevent it, though maybe that is why I'm still single and a virgin." She shrugs then says, "But I have heard stories from the other goddesses that this happened to like Lemuert." Naruto is having a hard time listening. Why? She is gorgeous with double M cup that defy gravity with hips and thighs on a whole other level. Naruto thought, she is wearing a kimono that doesn't hide much. She giggles and then whispers, "Let me explain and I might visit you soon." Naruto blushes because her low whisper is damn sexy. "Now may I explain, dear Naruto?" as she lovingly puts her hand on his cheek. "Let's see, where to begin?" Naruto says, "The beginning please." His eyes turn white while he blushes. Shinigami nods. "Well, we goddesses are tired of the gods always hitting on us, more so the goddess of lust and beauty." Shinigami explains, "So we were looking for a mortal man to be our true lover. Even when he leaves the living world, he would become a true god." Naruto is surprised. And why you choose me?" Shinigami says, "Yes, because you have attracted so many women, except your mother, as your charm doesn't work on her." Naruto says, "No, thank you." As he loves his mom but not in that way. Shinigami nods. "Indeed, now we have already chosen who will be first." "Wait, first, who?" said Naruto. Shinigami says, "Lemuert." "But not now though." Naruto says, "Not now." "Yes, darling, now she has to get her affairs in order. Same goes me and others. We will be yours, but some have to visit from time to time. Also, Artemis wanted me to give you something." She pulls out an ornate bow. Naruto blinks as he looks at it. "It is a thank you for opening up a part of your home to the young ladies who have stalkers and pedophiles after them," said Shinigami. Naruto nods. "Of course," said Naruto. Naruto accepts the bow and says, "Tell her I said thank you." Shinigami nods, and then she says, "Now I have to tell the goddesses that you know. But before I do." Shinigami then kisses Naruto on the lips. Naruto widens his eyes as her kiss is something else. Then she breaks the kisses and flashes him her tits. Something to look forward to. And she vanishes in a second and Naruto blinks as he says, "Holy shit. I swear many men would kill to be in my place." Lu Sao is crying as she is now lower on the list of goddesses to sleep with Naruto. She says, "And Naruto. He's so mean." As she points at Blaze. "Oh, it's nothing bad, it could have been worse," said Blaze as he was ready to be sent back to Naruto's home. "Don't worry, leave Al Ghul to me." Naruto nodded. Later at castle. It's been a couple hours now since Naruto and Ko returned home. Naruto is in his office doing what he needs to study as it is coming to exams. As he gave the girls the dreadful news, he wishes not to be disturbed. This means he won't have until the exams are over. Then there is a knock at the door. Naruto says as he reads the book, "Enter." In comes Glinda Goodwitch, his personal teacher. "Oh, Miss Goodwitch," said Naruto as he looked up, and Glinda said, "Studying, good. I am glad to see you studying, Mr. Uzumaki, and not just sleeping around." As she knows about Naruto's activities and she doesn't mean like his sword training, or other studies. Naruto laughs lightly, as he knows that Glinda really disapproves of him having so much, but there's not much she can do to stop him. "Miss Goodwitch, I am rebuilding my family name and giving my mom grandbabies." Goodwitch sighed as she said, "Just never mind, be ready within an hour for your first exam." Naruto nods. "I will. Also, I have to ask. When you are done here, where will you go?" Glinda adjusts her glasses. I guess I just resume my teaching at the college that I work at, after I'm hired by your mom through there after all," as she unknowingly makes her large bounce. Naruto nods. Well, how about a bet, Miss Goodwitch? Glinda sighs and says, this isn't time for games, but I will humor you. What is this bet of yours? She glares at him. If I get all A's, then I want a favor from you. No, not. You see, there is a part of my castle that is heavily guarded and off limits, and I wanted to do something for the young ladies that live there, said Naruto. Glinda looks at Naruto and says, well, that's noble of you, Mr. Uzumaki. Then she asks, why are the young ladies there and why is it heavily guarded? Naruto says, many of those young ladies have been targets of pedophiles, stalkers, and rapists. Some were even saved from human trafficking. I offered that part of my home to them to protect them. I would like to know if you could help teach them after this. I will talk to Mom and you will still get paid. Glinda nods as she understands. Once again, you surprise me, as I thought you're just an ambitious man with smarts and a hunger for. Naruto says, thanks. I think, is that how you see me? Glinda says, with how many women are around you? Yes. Then Asuka runs past the door playing with a puppy, but I do see a more caring side of you. Naruto nods, so we have a deal. Glinda thinks about it. Very well, you have your bet. Naruto and Glinda shake on it, sealing the deal. The following day, later, Glinda walks into the castle and heads to the office as she hears, so are you done with the college stuff? It was Perrin, and Naruto said, not yet, Perrin. I know the girls miss me, but this is important. The other whines as Glinda walks in, you lot, out. Mr. Uzumaki needs to be ready for his exam in business handling and finance. The girls nod, and Bisca picks up Asuka from Naruto's lap, and she waves and says, bye daddy. Naruto waves back as he smiles. Glinda blinks, how old is that girl? And Naruto says, stepdaughter, and she is 7. She is adorable. He smiles as Glinda says, I see. In her mind, an image of her pregnant appears, but she quickly shakes it off as she has an exam to do. She brings out Naruto's exam and closes the door. Let us begin. Naruto nods as he begins. Days later, on the final day, Naruto is waiting for the results of his exams. He is eager for Glinda to arrive. Naruto is fidgeting as he hears nothing but his heartbeats, the ticking of the clock, and the wind against his window. He thinks, why does it feel like I'm waiting 1,000 years? Then there is a knock on the door. Naruto snaps out of it, turns to the door, and opens it. Glinda then says, forgive me for being late. It is okay, Miss Goodwitch, says Naruto as he is just glad she's here now. Anyway, I have the results of all your final exams for each subject. Naruto is waiting as Glinda puts the results down in front of him. Naruto sees that he got all A's. Naruto smiles, and Glinda says, a deal is a deal. Also, I might have a question for you. Naruto says, what's up? He looks at her, and she rubs her legs together. So, do the tags offer protection? Naruto looks at her funny and says, well, from being kidnapped and other things, why? Even against horny idiots? Asked Glinda as many men have tried getting her into their beds. Oh, more so, why are you asking me this? Naruto asks. Glinda explains, so many men have tried to get me into bed but you haven't, and that has shocked me. Naruto says, well, you're my teacher, why would I do that? Glinda says, because even students of mine hit on me and tried to seduce me. It has annoyed me, but you remain loyal to your ladies, and you did not try to add me. Naruto says, that is the thing. I have a council, and they have a say of who joins the group. He thinks, though not always, as Glinda fixes herself a bit as she thinks, do I want to do this? Naruto then gets up and touches his ring, which glows. Around the castle, those with numbers on their tags also glow, and they all head toward the council room. Naruto leads Glinda to the council room. Moments later, Naruto enters with Glinda behind him and he goes to his seat as she is in front of the council as he waits. Then the ladies enter and head to their seats. There are only 26 girls on the council right now. Hannah asks. So Glinda might want to join, but I have one big question for you, Miss Goodwitch. Is this really what you want? Once you join, trust me you will never want to leave. With the others looking right at Glinda, Glinda is standing there as she isn't sure if she should stay or leave as she says, I. Perrin says, please be honest. Then Glinda finds the courage, I. Time skipped an hour later. I do. I want to stay with Naruto F forever. Shouted Glinda as they were in the middle of the most intense they ever had since Glinda hadn't shed X for a long time while Naruto was stressed due to the exam, and he was going to let it out onto his busty hot blonde teacher. Naruto is grunting as he is her like crazy while playing with her. And he says, oh, you are so horny. I am glad to hear you want to be mine. As he thrusts more profoundly in her, and Glinda shouts, why yes. Me. Ravage me. P put me I into submission and turning me into your woman. Naruto says, damn, you are horny. Glinda screams as he keeps her like a madman and then whispers, maybe I could pop into your office and you there, said Naruto. Glinda screams louder. Glinda has a vision of her in the garden with a pregnant belly as she is enjoying the views, but it fades away because of Naruto smacking on her. Naruto smirks as Glinda screams in pleasure as his thrusts deeper in her. Glinda is screaming in pleasure, happy to be Naruto's now. Naruto says, that's it, Glinda. You belong here with me, and I will never let you leave us. As he thrusts more profoundly into her, Glinda screams louder and shouts, you're right because I don't think I could live without you anymore. Naruto keeps Glinda more and more, as both share a kiss. Glinda moans into the kiss as she blushes. Time skip. The next day, Glinda walks around with a collar as the tag is silver as she wears nothing but her underwear, bra, and thick leggings. Naruto is in his office while looking over something. With Blaze. Blaze is standing in front of a temple with ninja layings all around him as they look to be in pain. Blaze walks up to the large doors, then he opens them and grabs a fist, and starts to twist the arm of Ubu harshly as he is screaming in pain, and then Blaze one punch knocks him out as he says, Roz you son of a bitch. Come out here. Blaze enters and then when he steps on the floor a wave of power goes out knocking out so many people while leaving a few on their knees, Roz al Ghul. Then someone appears and Blaze looks, there you are Roz, we need to talk. Now.